Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining DataCon LA 2020. Welcome to the track called Effective Data-Driven Product Roadmaps. And we'll soon start listening to this session. And the speaker is Alwan, who's a Senior Product Manager, Product Strategy at Fox Network Group. I'm your host today, Bob Neustadt, and the co-host today is Teiko Yamamoto. The host will be moderating the chat and the QA, so put your questions in there. And so without further ado, here's the speaker.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex Alwan. I hope you are enjoying the conference so far, and thanks for joining my session. Today, I would like to share with you some of the lessons I learned from utilizing data within the product management team, and also what I've learned about creating data-driven roadmaps. Let me share my screen and go presentation style. So, as you all know, product strategy is a big topic, but in today's session, this session can be considered as an introduction to product strategy, and hopefully this inspires you to look further into what product strategy is and how to utilize data to build better roadmaps. I'm gonna go quickly about a brief about me and my background. Then I will talk about that combination between data and product management and why it's very important. And then dive deeper into what makes a feature successful and how we evaluate that. And then to the main topic of roadmap prioritization framework. So some sort of a framework or a life cycle of work to produce effective roadmaps. And then that challenge of having data analysis team within the product management team, and how to manage data analysts as well, and hopefully some time for questions. About me quickly, I worked over 10 years in product management, classical product management focus on delivery and then focusing on A/B testing and data, and then now product strategy. I'm based in LA. I worked at companies like Rackspace and Airbrake in San Francisco, and now at Fox. I teach product management course at Produc school, and I lead the product strategy team at Fox. I'm lucky to work on some of the top video on demand and OTT products like Fox Now and Fox Sports, working on events like Super Bowl, which was the highest streamed event of the year on Fox Sports and Fox Now. And let me move on to, I like to put it this way, which is product management is about solving customers' problems and maximizing business value from a product. So evidently, using data is the best way to achieve this premise of product management. So let's see how exactly data is used by product managers. Why is data important in product management? We need to find the customer problems, right? If we don't find the customer problem, then we are just building something that will not have any purpose. also things like where did the user stop in the funnel? That's also a customer problem. If I have a funnel that the users go through to convert into, for example, a subscriber or a paid customer, I need to know where they stop, how many users added to favorite, if I have the favorite or like feature in my product. I get questions like that. These questions, asking these questions using the data will show me the customer problems. And then I need to evaluate the product success. That's another use of data. How did this new product perform if I'm building a new product? Or if I have an existing product, did we hit the OKRs, the objective and key results of this product? And then I need to make future projections. So based on the current performance, will our product hit its goals? That's another use of data within the product management team. So product managers without data won't be able to do any of these. And then, and it's very important, we need to run experiments to validate hypotheses. And that is something that sometimes is forgotten within the product management team, which is it's really the product manager's responsibility to run experiments, ideally, to use the data and find the statistical significant result of a high hypothesis. We're not going to dive deep here, but hopefully some other time. Things like, will short or long landing page convert better? So I would build multiple landing pages and I would test either which of them would actually convert better. Will pushing 1 or 2 mobile notifications drive more engagement? And of course, we can spend the whole day going through examples of experiments we can run. But I can tell you, for example, here at Fox, we run experiments all the time. A lot of the features we roll out actually start as an experiment, and then we roll out as a feature. I know is okay. Seems like someone having a problem with the audio, but Bob is on it. Awesome. Just Bob and Taco, just let me know everything is going well and the audio is good.
I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So just to dive deeper into what make a feature successful. So first we went through these were the areas where we look at the product in general. To look at a specific feature, there are multiple areas where we need to evaluate the success of any new feature we build. The first is the discovery, and that means, was it easy for users to see this new feature? Was it easy for them to discover it, or was it hidden behind specific pages or other features? So how many users were exposed to this new feature? The metric here would be the percentage of users who viewed the feature. Simple. I had 100,000 visitors that day. 10% of them got exposed to that feature. That's great. Then we need to look at engagement. So if users viewed that feature, did they use it? And the metric here would be the percentage of the viewers of that feature. How many of them actually used it once? That would be like the first engagement, or you can call it activation maybe. And then the retention. So if they used it once, do they come again and use it? And the metric would be how frequent customers use this feature. And this could, depending on the feature, could be something, how many of them come daily, weekly, or some analysts look at it as like on the 1st, 3rd, 7th, and then like 30th day to see also retention. And then, and that's very important, okay, they used it, but what was the impact of that feature on the success of the product? So did this feature achieve the goal we wanted it to achieve? And the metric would be the impact on the success metric. So each feature should have a success metric. A feature could be to acquire more customers, or could be to engage existing customers. I'm gonna try to go faster since we have 25 minutes left, and I wanna give at least 5 minutes for questions. So please stop me whenever you feel like we need more time to discuss a specific thing. Last thing is the trade-off. So did using this feature have any negative impact on other areas? So we might increase the subscribers, but these new subscribers might have a high churn or cancellation rate. So we need always to look at that trade-off, and that's where data comes into place. Before we get to the prioritization framework, in a nutshell, that's a delivery process within the product management team. I'm sure you all are aware of that. The product, there is the product manager. This is like someone that look at the overall success of the product and works on the roadmap level. Other product managers work on the feature level, and they work on the brief. These product managers can work on a feature that could need to be built maybe on multiple platforms: web, mobile, iOS, Roku, tvOS, etc. And then the squad PM is the person that manages the engineers, and that's the more traditional definition of product manager. We manage the engineers to build specific requirements. So to jump into a more comprehensive roadmap building framework, the main thing we need to answer is how to continuously build high value products. So it's not a one-time thing. It's not like once a year we meet and we build a roadmap. We actually go through this on a monthly basis, if not weekly basis even. And the main three stages here are strategy, planning, and execution. Again, these are the roles. There is the product level manager, there is a squad product manager, the feature product manager, and also I'm introducing here product strategist, which is the role I play within Fox, but not necessarily, this won't necessarily exist in other organizations. Usually it's played by the product lead, the VP of product, or the product level manager. So starting from strategy, as you see here, the idea, here are any new idea that comes to the product management team, can come from anywhere. It can come from some quantitative analysis we did, some qualitative insight, like the users were complaining about something, or we discovered that they're not converting because of a specific reason. Other stakeholders like marketing team, other executives, some research we did, some yearly or annual goals that we have. All these and more bring ideas to the product managers, and we would take these ideas and look at it from problem/opportunity assessment. So we would define what that problem is exactly and who are the targeted customers, and then we would evaluate reach. Reach means what's the percentage of users that will be exposed to that feature. For example, the reach could be very small if I'm building a feature within the profile page, for example, within the account page. Not so many people go there, not so many users go there. And then I would assign a success metric what exactly I'm trying to improve, and then the impact. So on that success metric, what would this problem or opportunity have an impact on the success metric? Once that's all defined and we said, and we like, yeah, this is a problem worth solving, this becomes as an initiative, and then some design exploring starts there. Very draft, early design exploring, just to visualize how would that problem could be solved. The actual work happens more in the planning, but where the feature product manager starts scoring and prioritizing and like evaluating the value, the effort, and look and connect with other teams to get feedback and build a brief. A brief is a very important piece of documents that would set all the details about this feature, about this problem we want to solve, and then, and only then, this goes to the roadmap. Once it's in the roadmap, it can be either an A/B test, or a feature, or a bug fix. That's kind of a natural thing for anything on the roadmap. And that's where the execution starts. So it's already on the roadmap. Is it an A/B test we want to test against the current user experience, or a feature we want to roll out, or a bug we want to fix, and then goes to development, of course, and then we release. But that's not the end, because once we release, we really need to evaluate. So it goes back kind of to planning. Once it's released, it goes back to planning, and it either goes to this stage to collect more feedback, to look at the value, and maybe come up with a different design, and then it could also the result of that could also be building a new strategy from scratch. So something didn't work, or we found out that actually our evaluation of the problem wasn't correct. Sorry about that. I need to go back. Yes. It goes back to the strategy. So this framework is a continuous framework. Someone is asking if Renee, or maybe if you can get the slides. Yes, of course. I'm gonna upload these slides somewhere. I'm gonna work maybe with Bob on that. So this is a continuous process. So how would this roadmap that we always feed into and from would look like and presented? I found that the best way to do that is to actually present it in a very simple. You all have seen this before, but you have no idea how effective it is. Is really to present it in an impact versus effort metrics. So these squares here, you can see this one on top left has high impact, low effort. That's cool. But this one in here has high impact, high effort, and this one would be high effort, less impact, and this one less impact, less effort, as you all know. So let's just take a look at how would a good matrix or a good roadmap look like, and a bad one look like. So this is an example of a good roadmap. Why? Because the far majority of the features are within this square, where it's high in impact and low in effort. And we have some high effort, high impact. These are also good to have. Usually these are like a big redesign of the product, or a new, maybe a whole entire new product. We usually get, or like a whole maybe improving the back end for performance purposes. These are important, but we shouldn't have so many of them. Also, low impact, low effort. These also shouldn't be so many of these, because these usually it's a common it's a common maybe mistake or common habit of product managers to just bring the low effort features just because they are easy to do, and not but they won't necessarily bring high impact on the product. So this is a good a good roadmap. A bad roadmap would be a lot of features in this corner where it's high effort, low in impact. And again, as I mentioned, so many product managers like to push some easy but low impact features. And as you see here, I usually give different colors to each type of the feature. I like to categorize and group the features within a specific goal or metric. So for example, I give like acquisition to bring new customers, new subscribers. Engagement is to engage the customers with more viewership or more page views. Retention for them, either if this is a subscription based, then this is about like paying on a monthly basis or annual basis, or reducing churn. Or if it's not subscription based, then this is about more like them coming back and revisiting the product. And then monetization, like the pricing, changing the pricing, adding payment methods. And the platform is more about performance and back end. So data analysis team within the product organization is a primary factor of product success. And I would like to just put it this way and big, because it's a challenge for a product management team to use data and be very effective in understanding the customer problems and the product success if the data analysis team or data analysts don't live within the product organization. They could live within other BI teams or marketing or like data services and other teams, which is could work, could be great, but it wouldn't be ideal. So how to manage the data analysts within the product team is definitely a challenging thing, because product managers are used to either managing other fellow product managers or engineers. But here, data analysts are quite different. So we definitely need to hire data analysts and create an effective sprint-based analysis process. So we would take this sprint mentality from the product managers and apply it to how the data analysts work. I completely recommend having a 1-week sprint process for the data analysts. I put it here. I don't want to go in depth within this process, but the idea is that for this team of data analysts, they receive the requests or they come up with the data requests themselves, and they gather detailed requirements from stakeholders. And then they will check the data integrity, availability. This is a common mistake that many data analysts just jump from the request into the execution directly. There is no perfect data in any organization. There's always some issues, always some challenges. We need to look at the data integrity. Is it available? Are there null values? Are there any issues with the data? And then sizing and prioritizing that work. And then we would still start pulling the data and visualizing the data. That's the execution part. And then a technical review by a peer analyst or another BI team. So this might lead us to reconsider the request or resize and prioritize, or just move on. And last is not last, actually, we would create a summary and takeaways and then we would present to the stakeholders. I always tell my team, I manage 3 data analysts now within Fox, and I always tell them that what we produce is the takeaways. What we produce is not a table of numbers, is the summary and our understanding of the data, and in order to present that to the stakeholders. What kind of projects this team work on could be a top-line dashboard of main success metrics. These dashboards are usually automated, highly visualized, could be monthly, quarterly, yearly, or even weekly, but they are automated so you can look at them anytime. Or it could be an ad hoc request that's like quick and dirty SQL, and then put some takeaways, something that could be done within a few hours to a day. And then we have dive deep analysis, and that could take a few days or more. Something like, can we segment our entire user base into high active, medium active, low active, and see how each one impact the overall success. This is a dive deep analysis that could take days or weeks. And also market research. Sometimes we need to compare with some benchmarks and see where the market is going. This data analysis team within the product management organization can be helpful in that. And lastly, I just want to say that the result of data analysis could be a presentation, could be the dashboard, or could be an initiative. Really, this data analysis team, with the help from the product strategy lead, can come up with initiatives to the product team. We have regular, frequent summaries like weekly or monthly, or it could be, again, a simple table with some recommendations. That's what I have so far. I went through it maybe quickly, just to give everyone some chance to like chat and have any questions. So anything I can maybe dive deeper into or cover for you?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Yeah, anyone who's attending live, please put your questions in the Q&A in the WOVA, and Alex will be able to see them there. We'll give you a few minutes.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go through the slides to see if I would cover anything I did not cover. Let me just go this way. This is the overall prioritization framework. Okay, here's a question. I started late. Could you cover in more details how to create data-driven roadmap that focus on building? Okay, yeah, I mean, definitely I can go back to that. How do you generate estimates for timelines? What is the best way to manage internal stakeholders' requests, urgent demands? Can you recommend an analytics stack for project that is just getting started with small team? Yeah, absolutely. Let me start from top. Again, if you missed this part, it's more about, this is more like a framework, a continuous work. You might have like weekly meetings with the product managers to look at how we receive new ideas, and then we look at it from problem opportunity assessment, goes into an initiative, and then in the planning we would actually score that feature. So what could be the value, what could be the effort? And I want to, since I'm mentioning the effort here, and there's a question about that, how to generate estimates for timelines, I'm assuming you mean, and that's Robert, I'm assuming you mean the size of work, the effort, and usually on that level, before we get to the details of what that feature would look like, it's more like person, month, like or like man month style, which is like t-shirt sizing, saying this will take 2 sprints of 1 engineer, something high level like that. Or also, but it's very important to understand that effort is also might include complexity. So if I'm working on a very complex area, I need to take that into consideration. I might break something. Also, a very interesting way to size any new feature is actually asking the question, how difficult would be if this feature was a total failure to go back to the way the product was. So you can also ask that question when evaluating the effort, and all of that feeds into the roadmap. And from the roadmap, again, it could be an A/B test, a feature, or a bug fix, goes to development, release, and evaluation. What are your experiences with, I mean, I think I missed a few, but I'm gonna go through this. What are your experience with developing AI products? What are the biggest risks for you? I personally haven't had any like big experience with developing AI products. I worked with the data scientists to build features within the product, things like the recommendation system, or like how to sort the content within the product. That's a data science, machine learning features within a product, but it's not entirely an AI product. What is the best way to manage internal stakeholders' requests, urgent demands, versus strategic data-driven roadmap initiatives? That's a very good question, and let me just go back to here. It's really about sizing and prioritization, right? So we receive a request, we understand it very well, we make sure that we can actually work on it, data is available, and then in the sizing and prioritization, definitely we need to make that kind of balance, and it's not easy. But that's really the life of product managers. Their life is not easy because they need to prioritize and size. But I would say that ideally, I would like to work like maybe 50% or more like strategical, deeper analysis, and 50% on like more urgent, because urgent requests are usually very important because the product team need to make decisions whether to actually pursue something or how to make a quick change, or there is a bug, what is the impact of that bug on the product and the customers. We can play that role, and it's very important as well. I hope that answered your question. Can you recommend an analytics stack for a project that is just getting started with a small team? Definitely. Now, my background is product management and then product strategy. So I haven't necessarily worked on like building the analysis stack, but I can tell you that products like Segment, I highly recommend that. I worked with Segment in multiple companies. Segment acts as a hub for the data. So you fire all the events and the attributes from your product into Segment, and in Segment, you can easily feed out to any other products like Google Analytics or Mixpanel or Tableau or anything like that. So I highly recommend it. What do you look for when recruiting analysts to your team? That's a very good question. Of course, they need to be native SQL speakers. They need to be like, they need to speak SQL better than English. and then I would definitely look at some product sense skills. So I would ask them about we saw a problem, a decline in, for example, 3% revenue. How, and that's the only thing you knew. How would you go about that? So ideally, they would go first, they will look at, oh, the data is correct, accurate, and then they would actually start segmenting. Oh, we make revenue from subscription and ads, and then, okay, where exactly? So they start like this kind of tree thinking style. That's product sense. And then organization skills. I need to make sure that analysts, when they face a challenge, they can go and figure out a way to do it and manage the stakeholders' expectations very effectively, and even over communicate to the stakeholders. So product sense, technical skills, and not product sense, not skills. They're not product managers, but they work within the product team, so they need that kind of sense. And last is the organization and initiative spirit.
Well, thank you, Alex. That's a really insightful answer. And sorry to have to, we've run out of time here. But I appreciate you sharing all your insights, and appreciate all the attendees' interactions here during this session. I have 2 asks for the attendees. Please contact the speaker if you have any further questions. And please provide your comments and feedback to the organizers on the community board, or start a discussion in the community. So thank you today for your presentation, and I hope that everyone here got some good takeaways. I know I did. And have a wonderful day, and thank you for being part of DataCon LA.
Thank you.